When it comes to like individuality, right?
Yeah.
What is a good way for people to start to get to know themselves? Does it make sense to you what I'm asking?
Yeah, it does. Well, I keep coming back to something that I tell a lot of people I think is very important, is the desire to know yourself.
If you cannot obtain from the world that which you really desire, you must teach yourself not to want it. If you cannot get what you want, you must teach yourself to want what you can get.
Mm-hmm. So people are very good at faking it. And you could be out there listening and you go, yeah, I kind of want to know myself better. Okay, let me get online and get, they just forget about it because the other forces are stronger than them. You have to have a level, that if you're in recovery, a level of disgust. You have to hit bottom.
Yeah.
You have to go, I don't want to be like this anymore. I want to find out who I am. I want to touch that core of individuality that I know is still within me, that soul that I believe is still there.
Engage in the world. Go find out some new things. Learn some new things. Whether that's the physical frontier or the mental frontier. Take more risk there. Start with, what do you have an innate ability to? What's in your DNA? I wanted to play basketball for years. I wanted to dunk. And it ain't my DNA, bro. I'm never gonna dunk. No matter how hard I worked at it, I was never gonna dunk. It's what I wanted to do. So look at, what do you have an innate ability for? And then what then are you willing to pursue an education for, work for, hustle for? That for which you have an innate ability for. And if we're going to talk about making a living, is that which you have an innate ability for and now have educated yourself, your talent, to have a talent for, is that, and how can that be, something that the world demands? Because it's a blind demand.
This is like confession and atonement. It's the proper way to think about it, is you can think about what it is that you did wrong or insufficiently that led to the collapse of your plan. Right? So that's the first investigation, right? And I'm not trying to be flippant about this, because sometimes people's dreams are quite realistic and they still fail catastrophically. It can be brutal. Maybe you did make a lot of good decisions and you suddenly got ill, or someone in your family did, and everything went to hell on you. It doesn't have to be because you've done something cardinally foolish that you fail. It's built into the structure of the world. But it doesn't matter. You can also retreat into yourself and you can say something like, all right, I need to retool my conception of strategy, but also potentially my conception of goal. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong place. Maybe I have to look somewhere else.
You go back into your childhood and you go, what was it that made me so different, that was so weird about me? What was it that I was attracted to? As you go through that process, things will start coming up. It's like you're digging, you're excavating, like you're an archaeologist into your own past.
Yeah, it's like using a brush and brushing off. You see a little bit of bone, and then you're like,
yeah,
what other questions can I ask around here that might help you remove a little more dirt?
Yeah, and memories will come up, like your memory when you're 2 years old and your brother popping up his head. Things will start coming back to you, and you'll start connecting to who you were when you were young, and you're connecting to who you were as an adolescent.
Boy, if you can end up doing something you got an innate ability for, plus you become really good at it, and you learn the craft, and the world demands it, and you can supply it, there you go. But some of us have innate ability, but we're not we don't work for it. We don't improve our skills. We kind of rely on what we got, and it kind of become middle of the field, and sometimes I don't have the ability for it, but I'm gonna learn a new craft, and I'm gonna hustle at it. And then actually, when we get good at something, we kind of can start to go, oh, I didn't know I loved it. I didn't like this anymore, but I like it now. It starts to feel good to do over and over. I was lost, man. I'm lost. I'm writing 16-page letters to myself, and I'm returning them with a 17-page letter.
About what?
Huge existential questions mixed in with, oh, everything is going great, trying to talk myself into keeping my head up, you know what I mean? And I said, okay, if I can't do what I want to do, I'm gonna quit doing what I've been doing. Cut the shit, McConaughey. Quit giving yourself that out, that parachute, even though you may have it. I needed to strong arm myself, put my damn hands on the wheel, look in the mirror and go, it's on you. Because it is time to become a man. Walk forward, peripheral vision. Get it. Own yourself. walk forward with more courage and start becoming the man you want to be instead of acting like it and putting it off. Work ethic, hustle, hustle, hustle. I can't, I hate, and lying were 3 things that you got in trouble for. So what did I learn from don't say can't? That if you're unable to do something, you can, even if you can't pull it off, you can go find help, which means you were just having trouble. What did I learn from getting a butt whooping for saying I hate you to my brother? Well, what I was learning is the antonyms to those words. Because saying I can't, lying, and saying I hate you were bringing me pain. So the opposite must bring pleasure, right? Tell the truth, love, and believe that you can. Those were the values, how I remember them getting instilled in me. And to this day, I still have them, trying to transfer them to my kids as well in a different way than my parents did. Anything exterior should not give you your identity. Why are you going to watch someone doing something when you can go out in the world and do it yourself? Belief is a verb.
What did I do that wasn't as good as it could have been, and where did I fail to look so that the probability of my failure was higher? Now, to ask that question, you have to want the answer. That's what it means to knock or to ask or to seek. This is no joke. It's like you have to want to know. And it's a very painful thing to do, because especially if you had given it your all to the degree you were able, and you have reason to be bitter, you're going to be searching for the errors that you still made, and discovering your own errors is always extremely painful, right?
You have to have the desire. If there's no desire there, if you're just mimicking, if you're just saying it just for the sake of it because it sounds good, I can't help you. But if it's still there, yeah, you want to start by, I mean, there are many paths you can take. A very good path is to take a journal and start journaling, right? And writing down your thoughts and writing down your dreams. And when I say that, I say, don't do it on a computer. I mean, I know a lot of young people don't know how to handwrite anymore, but pick up a pen. I still handwrite a lot of things. Pick up a pen and a journal and write it down.
And so you have to be willing to strip yourself down. That's what humility means fundamentally. And then, but the advantage is, this is why it's so useful to listen to people. You might find out where you're stupid, and then you can stop being stupid. And so one of the reasons you confess your sins, let's say, is because you want to discover where you're insufficient. Now, it's painful. No, it's painful to encounter an impediment in the form of someone else's opinion that might show you where you're blind and ignorant, or willfully blind even. But the advantage to that is you can rectify the error, and then as you move forward, you're stronger. So there's a gospel statement that's very relevant to this. So Christ tells his followers that if they knock, the door will open. If they ask, they'll receive. And if they seek, they'll find.
If my life was a movie and someone were to watch it, I hope they'd be inspired to take risks, not just risks to achieve success, but embrace feeling, both pride and shame, fear and excitement. Personally, I want to experience as much life as possible, and that only happens when you embrace the highs and the lows.